Guys, thanks for tuning in the video. Today I wanted to talk about AirPods, that little Apple earbuds. I recently started wearing these, or I guess it was a couple of months ago probably. I started looking at some YouTube reviews, things like that, to see which ones would be best. But since then, I've had a chance to try both. The standard AirPods, I guess these are what they call the second generation. Basically, I think they look pretty much the same as the first generation that came out last year or the year before. And then these are the new Pro, or what they call them, AirPods. But yeah, I've used both of these for about a month now, something like that. And I just wanted to shoot a quick video and tell you kind of what my findings are, my thoughts are on them, and ultimately which ones I like better. So stay tuned. Okay. There's thousands of videos on YouTube about these two devices, so I'm not going to rehash a lot of the information that you can find. There's a lot of professional reviewers out there that have done a lot more comprehensive reviews on these, talking about all the little nuances between them. Basically, what I want to do is tell you what my thoughts are, typical fat hillbilly thoughts on these two devices. The first ones I tried were the Pros, which are these. These are great. And let me say, both of these are great, okay? Both sets of these are really cool, especially if you never had any of these little Bluetooth earpieces before. I started out with the Pros. They do have some distinct advantages over the, I'm just going to call these just the regulars for comparison in this video. I'm sure there's probably a proper term, but how these things work on this particular pair of Pros, these are my wife's now. These little devices charge up, just a rechargeable battery. When you put them inside the case, you can see the little green light right there. It charges these AirPods up, right? So there you go. Right now, those two AirPods are charging. Now, the case itself has a battery in it, which will charge them, I don't know how many times. I think at least 4 or 5 times, maybe even 6 or 7 times on these, on the Pros. And when the case battery becomes low, you can charge it up with your lightning cable, the same thing you use for your iPhone, or you can just lay it down on top of one of those wireless charging pads. IQ pad, I think is what they call it, or something like that. Either way, that's the way the Pros are set up. The Pros do have the wireless charging built in. It's the only version you can get. Now these, the standards, the regulars, same concept. The buds themselves have a small battery in them. They take a charge, and the case itself has a battery in it. And whenever you put the buds back into the case, they will then begin to charge. Okay. Now in this particular pair, these are the non-wireless ones. So when I charge these ones up, I do have to plug in a cable. The horror, the agony that's involved with having to plug in a cable, charge it. Oh my gosh. If I had spent, I think it was about $20, maybe $30 more, I could have got the wireless charging ones, which means that you can just lay them down on the IQ pad and they'll charge like that. So that's the only difference between the wireless and the standards on these. Now these are the Generation 2 AirPods, and I'm sure there's been some other technical differences between the ones and the twos, and I don't know what all those are, but again, now what these offer, and you can see, let me just compare these side by side here. The Pros have a small squishy canal, well, not a canal, a small squishy little a cushion tip, I guess is what you would call this. And this actually goes inside of your ear when you put it on, when you wear them, okay? The regular ones basically fit your ears like the standard wired earbuds that we are all familiar with that have iPhones. These essentially hang on your ear kind of like that. You know, they just basically hang in your ear, and that's what holds them in place. These ones, in turn, go down, this small piece protrudes down inside of your ear canal slightly. So the advantage is the Pros will actually effectively close off the sound that goes into your ears. So once this is inside of your ears, the pros therefore can take advantage of the noise canceling aspect. And I will say that the noise canceling on these pros is great. You put these things in, if that noise canceling is on, I mean, it masks out so many exterior sounds, and you can really get very good sound quality when you're listening to music or YouTube videos or whatnot. That is really, in my opinion, the huge single big advantage that the pros have over the regulars is that when you put these in, I don't know if you've never worn noise canceling headphones or anything like that, you're not really going to know what I'm talking about. But what noise canceling does is it listens to the sounds in the room and effectively eliminates them from the feed that it gives your ears, or something like that. Now, you can bypass the noise canceling on these. It's just a matter of squeezing the right one, hold it down for a few seconds or something like that, and it turns off the noise canceling. And when the noise canceling is turned off, you can actually set them up for transparency, and they will listen to the sounds in the room around you and rebroadcast it to your ears. So I'm kind of hard of hearing on my higher frequencies. I have like 30 to 40% hearing loss in my higher frequency range. And I can actually hear better with these things in my ears in the transparency mode on. Now the regulars, they don't have the noise canceling. Basically, they just hang in your ears. And the obvious reason is, well, obviously the hardware is not equipped to do it and the software is not built into it. But the way these sit in your ears, they're not squeezed in place. It's not like creating a small sound chamber to do the noise canceling like these ones will. But I will say this, and this is my single biggest gripe, and this is the reason I'm using the regulars now pretty much all the time versus the pros. I have ears, like a lot of people, that are kind of hard to fit. And I know this is going to sound kind of gross, but the pros, when my ears are fresh and clean in the morning, fresh out of the shower, the pros fit good. They stay in place good. Now, for some reason, as I go throughout the day, these pros start wanting to slip out. And I tried all 3 tip sizes. I did the little sound test, which the sound test is basically something that Apple has built into the software. When you put these in on the pros, it'll do a test, play some sound through these, and it'll tell you if your earphones are loose or if they're fitting good. And let me tell you, if you start playing with that sound test all the time, it's going to drive you nuts, because sometimes you go to good seals, sometimes you don't. You know, my advice is you might do it once or twice when you're figuring out the tips that you want to use, the tip size, because the pros do have 3 different tip sizes. Then forget about it. But anyway, back to the issue with these fitting on me. I don't know if it's throughout the day my ears gradually get dirtier, greasier, whatever, but in the evenings, these things simply kept on wanting to squeeze out of my ears. And it didn't matter what size of tip I would use. I would put them in, and then literally I could it's almost like I could feel them just slowly popping out. And then they would just eventually just get to the point where they just fell out. And yes, I clean my ears, and it would help, of course, but I think what happened with me in particular, I honestly think throughout the day, maybe my ear canals, and this might be a bunch of BS, I don't know. I think my ear canals might shrink a little bit throughout the day or something. I don't know for sure, but it got to the point with me where it was just aggravating. I was like, my gosh, these things, because I use them mostly at night when I'm sitting on the couch or laying in bed, reading or watching YouTube videos or whatever. So I started using these. Now, when I first got the regulars, I was a little concerned. I was like, well, the regular standard earbuds that Apple sells with the cords, they have a problem of falling out of my ears. I've always attributed just me having odd-shaped ears or something like that. But surprisingly, these stay in my ears very well. Go figure. I don't know, but I don't ever have any problems with these coming out of my ears. Now, obviously, I'm the fat hillbilly. That doesn't mean I run around and do exercise or jog or anything like that. But normal activities, walking around, laying down, eating, which is another thing with these, when I would eat, these things would come out. And I always attributed that basically to the pressure in my ears or something like that, forcing them out, or maybe the flex in my ears. But yeah, these stay in my ears better than the Pros. And I know that kind of contradicts what a lot of reviewers are saying. And I agree. I mean, you would think these stay in better. They're actually being physically held in place by this little compression. But I tell you, for some reason on me, these stay in my ears better. Now, I will say this. I miss the noise canceling that these offer. And I'm sure at some point I'll be borrowing these from my wife. Like if I go on a trip or something like that, I'll see if I can sweet talk her and let me use them for the trip. But I will say this too. The best noise canceling you can get is always going to be with an over-the-ear headphone, like a pair of Bose or Beats headphones. Some of those headphones that cover your entire ear, they're going to give you the best noise canceling. But yeah, that's my thoughts on this. And I was going to shoot a follow-up, showing my ugly mug again, telling which ones I like better, but I can tell you already right now, and let's just save you some time, I like these better. Function-wise, they both do the same. I will say that the telephone calls on these, when I'm talking to someone through my phone and using either set of these, they tell me I sound clear as a bell. So that works really good. Either one of them, both sets will work if you decide that you want to take them out and just leave one earpiece in, which I do a lot when I'm talking on the phone. For some reason, I can hear better through my left ear on the phone, so I'll leave the left one in the majority of the times. But yeah, they're both good choices. These ones run about $249. These, I think the standard price on the non-wireless is $149, but you can get them for $129. I got these for $129 at Target, and I got an additional 5% off because we have one of those Target red cards. If you want the noise canceling though, and if these things will stay in your ears, the Pros are the way to go with, because that noise canceling is very nice on them. And since I've been using these, I'll be the first to tell you again, I miss the noise canceling. So hopefully, well, you know what? Let me add one more thing here too, real quick. One thing I did try on the Pros is I did order some aftermarket tips from Amazon that were supposed to be a non-slip tip, and tried them, and surprisingly they snapped in, fit very well on the Pros. But I couldn't tell a hill of beans worth of difference between those and the regular tips. So, and again, this is something that I tried with all different sizes of tips too. These have small, medium, and large tips that you can tailor fit to your ears, and it was still the same thing. So yeah, that's my findings, people. I hope you enjoyed this. Please like, subscribe, tell your friends, all that good stuff, and post some comments. Let me know your thoughts. If you guys have tried these, let me know what you think of them. We have 60 subscribers now, so maybe we'll get 61 after people view this video. Thanks.